Yes, people, we are here again to talk transfer news. The international break is pretty dead. There's nothing really other to talk other than really transfers news that's potentially going to happen in the summer. And I do think this is a potential transfer in the summer, hence why I'm talking about it today, is Luis Diaz to Barcelona. We're not going to speak about Luis Diaz in this video. We're going to speak a bit about some Liverpool news that got released last night concerning Kanate, Alisson, and Ryan Gravenberch. Obviously, they have been recalled and they have gone back to the AXA training ground to be assessed on their injuries that they have picked up. So we're going to speak about that, but we're speaking about mainly Luis Diaz is the main topic that has been talked about in the last probably 12, 24 hours. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So let me pull up the tweet for you. Give me a second. So Fabrizio Romano has come out and spoken about Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz is one of the 4 names on the shortlist at Barcelona. They have a good relationship with people close to the player. Diaz would be open to try a new experience in Spain, Fabrizio Romano confirms. Quick thoughts. This is not really a surprise because his dad has said in previous interviews and previously that Diaz used to be a Barcelona fan when growing up. He adored the likes of the Real Madrids, the Barcelonas, the Atletico Madrids, the teams that are in Spain. You know, as a South American lad, a lot of people do look up to the Barcelonas and the Real Madrid. They want to play for those clubs. Hence why you see a lot of Argentinian, Brazilian players go to those sort of clubs. And Diaz, as a Colombian, wants to be a player that probably will end up going to Barcelona, and a player that wants to play for Barcelona. And to be honest, the reason why this probably will happen is because Barcelona have been hot favourites for him over the past probably 2 years. They've been linked with this man. Now, I believe the other players on their shortlist is definitely one of them is going to be Nico Williams. Diaz could be a cheap alternative for that left-hand side for them. Nico Williams has, I think, a £60 million release clause for Bilbao. Diaz, I believe he'll probably cost you 50 million. And the reason why I think this deal is more easy for Liverpool is, especially on the player and everyone's side, is because Diaz is literally on, by the way. I'm going to put up his wage stats here for you. Diaz is on £55,000 a week, which I'm not saying Diaz deserves lots of money, but 55 grand is actually still kind of mad considering some players that are literally like your Chiesas, like your Darwin Nunes is 140 grand, Joe Gomez 75 grand, Tsimikas 75 grand. I think Kanate earning 70,000 is actually a bit of a joke, in my opinion. Same with Curtis Jones earning £15,000. That is, bro, sack your agent type stuff. So obviously Diaz did sign the contract back in 2022. It was a 5-year contract, so he has still got 2 years left on his deal. And Liverpool are in one of those positions where Diaz is 28. He's going to be 29 next year. With a year left on his contract, the amount of money that we're going to be getting for him is going to be considerably lower than if we were to sell him this summer. And that is why I think he will be sold this summer. I think Arna is actually a fan of him, but I think he's had enough of the Jotas, the Darwins, and the Diazes. And the reason why is simply because of this stat right here. Let me show you this, because this stat is a joke. Between Jota, Diaz, and Nunes, they have scored 3 goals in their last 41 appearances combined for Liverpool. 3. I believe Diaz hasn't scored in 3 months. I think the last time Jota scored was at Forest away, and um, uh, Dar- Darwin obviously scored against Southampton, and I think the other 2 goals were against Brentford away, and that was like 2-3 months ago. So these guys are on massive, massive months without goal contributions. Now GA, yeah, you could argue, oh, but it's not all about GA. But I'm sorry, but when you've got 3 players that we paid £40 million for Diaz, £30 million for Jota, we know what he's capable of. And the thing is, you can't really use the injury excuse. Jota has been fit since like what? January, February. He's barely been injured as compared to other seasons. Darwin Núñez, give or take, is he a good footballer or not? We paid £100 million, €100 million for this guy. He scored way more goals last season, get involved in way more play. Now I get the tactics and everything is different. However, the chances that Jota is missing, he's literally playing like he's in quicksand. Diaz can't beat a man. And Darwin just makes stupid decisions, like almost getting sent off the other week. Again, headless chicken. And I believe these are the reasons why Diaz will be one of the 3 that will get sold. And because, like, again, Liverpool, as it stands, have good relations with Barcelona. And you know, Diaz as well. So I think it's one of those deals where it will just be very easy for Liverpool to do. And like I said, £55,000 a week is not really going to be difficult on the player side, especially if he's opening for a move in Spain. He used to support Barcelona, so the overall deal as a package ain't going to be difficult to complete. Um, Now it's just whether it depends on Barcelona's finances. To be honest with you, if he isn't to go to Barcelona, I think he'll probably go to Saudi Arabia and just collect a load of bag, and that's where we'll probably make our most money. I think if he goes to Saudi, we could get 50 to 60 million pounds. I think if he goes to Barcelona, I don't think we get no more than 45, to be honest with you, just because of Barcelona's financial issues. So Diaz is definitely going to be the ones to watch. He's definitely in the top 3 or 4 players that I think will be sold this summer. And I just think I'll be shocked because Michael Edwards has come into this football club. He wants to get the wage structure down, and that players that aren't simply good enough where he believes they can get money for. And don't forget, Michael Edwards and Richie Hughes is a previous experiences. They are very good at getting wage structures down, and they are very good at earning money back on players. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, look, for example, Ryan Brewster, we sold him for 20 million. So make of that of what you will. That was a guy that didn't even play for Liverpool. So, and especially with the age thing as well, that the fact that he's getting to 29 and by next year he's going to have a year left on his deal. I feel like this summer is the last dance where we could proper maximize on Luis Diaz's value. In my humble opinions, I do think he probably will be one of the names that will be sold this summer. Now, moving on to what the other LFC news is, I'm just gonna pull up what I saw. And also, by the way, just to let you know, Deco was in Brazil watching Luis Diaz play for Colombia. He is a priority target. So yeah, it's just confirming everything that I've said about Lucho. Also, if you want to know a fun fact, big up to everyone at Anfield today supporting the LFC Foundation. Peter Crouch, by the way, in the Charity Legends match, scored 2 goals. He's 44 years old. He has the same amount of goals as Diaz, Jota, and Darwin in 2025. Let that sink in, charity match or not. Yeah, let me find this information for you that I did see about Canate and everyone. So basically, anything Liverpool have tweeted out some positive news. Gravenberch and Canate this morning. No injuries noted while on international duty. We know that Canate was pulled up more as a precaution, and Gravenberch obviously felt a little injury from last week's cup final. So he's gone back to Liverpool. Same with Alisson. Alisson also tweeted out on his Instagram confirming that it's all good. And obviously, look, by our next Premier League game in 10 or 9 or so days' time, these players should be fine, especially Alisson and Ibu. Now, we'll obviously have to wait and see on Gravenberch, but I feel like Gravenberch going back at 3 is the massive one, because I think like he's looked leggy since February, if I'm honest with you, for the past month and a half, 2 months. So him getting that nice little week and a half, 2-week break is really going to do really good for him for the back end of this like 9 game or so for the rest of the season. So that is your LFC injury news update regarding so far in the internationals. Also, big up to Curtis Jones. I think did he score for England yesterday? Oh no, I think he got the assist. Curtis Jones in the England match, he had a good game, to be fair. And yeah, that was good watch, to be honest with you. And also Mohamed Salah scored in his international game as well. So that's kind of the news roundup regarding internationals for the Reds. And yeah, that's obviously the Diaz news as reported. So yeah, that is your LFC daily update regarding Liverpool Football Club. Make sure you do smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Take care. On the road to 800 subscribers now. I think we're 85 away. We're flying into the 700s. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe. Much appreciated. Take care, and we are out.